Hello and welcome back to Allison Bakes Your Day. This week I am baking my friend Wesley's day and I am making some classic chocolate eclairs. We're gonna try choux pastry again. Hopefully it goes better than last time. As always, we have lots of construction. They're sawing shit today, so exciting. We're gonna deal with it, as always. Please let them be done soon. We are gonna start by heating up some milk. We're gonna do 300 milliliters, 1 1/4 of a cup, whole milk. Pour that in a little saucepan. We're gonna turn this on. I'm just gonna put it on like a medium low. We're gonna let it warm up until it's just to boiling, but not letting it bubble. We're gonna start with 50 grams of sugar. Now guess what? Guess what? We're gonna separate some eggs. What? Surprise, surprise. Yeah, because I'm making a custard again. I have this little jar that I have kept some of my egg white in from a recent bake. So I'm gonna separate these eggs because we just need 2 egg yolks. I'm gonna make a mess because that's more fun. And yolk. All right, teaspoon of vanilla. Our milk is pretty much ready. So I wanna get this next step done so we can add the milk. We're gonna whisk together the sugar, egg yolks, and the vanilla. I have 4 tablespoons each of flour and stuttered flour remix. Anyway, 4 tablespoons each of flour and cornstarch. And we're gonna add this a little bit at a time. We're gonna make a paste. It's interesting trying out different recipes because I feel like I've done a bunch of different custards now and I've done different techniques for all of them and they all work. I don't know, any one is better than the other. Doesn't matter if it tastes good, right? I don't know what that accent was. Losing my mind already. It's so early in the video. Making a mess. Whisk less vigorously. We're making a pretty good paste over here though. And what's that? Get in there. I'd say that's pretty pasty. Bloop, bloop. This is definitely a paste now. Oh God. That's obnoxious. Okay. I'd have to switch to a spoon now. It's just gonna get stuck in this whisk. We've got a nice paste now. Looks very pasty to me. Switching back to the whisk, sadly, because this next part does say to whisk the milk in. This is gonna be the tricky part because since I have this paste and I have to really stir it to temper the eggs, I'm a little nervous on this one. My other custards have gotten so well. Just pour in a little bit. Oh yeah, I can't even get the whisk in here. Okay, let's do that. Let's just throw a little bit of the liquid in, get it stirred. Okay. All right. I don't think we're making scrambled eggs. I think we're doing okay. Yes. Whew. Nervous about that tempering. Almost had to temper about my tempering. Angry. Just kidding. Still not liquidy enough, I feel like, to pour back in here. So let's get a little bit more milk going on. Here we go. It feels good. Now we're going to switch to a wooden spoon when we transfer it back over to the heat. Now we're going to add this back into the warm milk. More ogering this week. We're going to be stirring this for a little bit. We are going to turn this. God, it just looks so... Let's do more of those pliés, deep pliés. Okay, we're going to turn this up to high. And stir this for about 5 minutes until it thickens. Thicken, my pretty. Now, some of you might have been alarmed by what you just saw, but don't worry. It's supposed to look like that. The recipe even says it will go alarmingly lumpy. Just keep stirring and it will smooth out. Now I don't know if it's because my oven and stove are like on steroids. My oven has like roid rage. It's like, heat it up! Ah! So this is just the base paste for the mixture. That's what I mean about custard recipes all being different. So this one we're gonna whip up some heavy cream later and then fold that in. But for now, we're gonna cover this with some plastic wrap. Now we're just gonna cover this with some cling wrap, cling film, plastic wrap, whatever you wanna call it. And remember, with custard, you have to have it touching the surface so it does not form the skin, but this is already pretty gummy, so I don't really know. Seems silly. I'm gonna set that off to the side to cool, and then we'll chill it in the fridge as well. On to the choux pastry. Let's do it. I have all my ingredients for the choux pastry, and we're gonna move over to the stove in a moment. But just wanna give you a little rundown. This is 140 grams of flour, and we need a pinch of sugar, pinch of salt. I'm just gonna grind that in there, Himalayan pink salt. We're just gonna mix that all together. I have 4 eggs in this measuring cup, and we're gonna beat them. Beat the eggs! Beat the eggs. Ooh. Never beaten eggs in a measuring cup. Kind of fun. I have 4 eggs in here, and we probably won't use all of them. Now we're gonna start in our saucepan with 125 milliliters or half a cup of water. Same amount of milk. And then we're gonna add 100 grams of butter. Now I cut it up into cubes so that it would melt faster. One thing I will say, since I did some research before attempting choux buns again, since my choux buns were not great the first time. The last recipe, I was confused by why we had to put it back on the stove and heat it once we took it off. And I did some research and I found an article that broke down each step and why you do it, which is so helpful to know why. I just wanted to know why. When you take it off the heat to smooth it out and then you put it back on the heat, what you're doing is you are evaporating the water. So you want to get it to a different consistency than we had last time by evaporating that water so that it's a thicker, drier dough. When you add the eggs in, then that makes it smooth and glossy and cohesive. It binds it, but you still want it to be that thick, doughy consistency. Makes sense now. Now we know why. We're doing lots of techniques this time. Hopefully we won't mess things up. Here we go. I've got the butter melting with the water and milk. Now you want to heat it slowly so that the butter melts, but the liquid doesn't boil because it's not ready. It will boil once the butter, wow brain, we'll boil it once the butter has melted. Whew. Almost there. Patience. Patience, my friends. Come on, tiny little buttered things. Melt. Melt for me. Get back to our witchy ways. Melt, little butter, melt. It's melted. It's done. So now we turn it up so we can get it boiling. Once it boils, we're going to add all our flour in and beat it vigorously with this wooden spoon. Rolling boil. That looks like a nice rolling boil to me. Whoop, there it goes. Now we're supposed to tip the flour in and immediately turn off the heat. Fling flour on yourself because that's part of the recipe too. Don't worry about it. Oh, it missed me. I didn't get any on me. Oh, beat vigorously. Beat vigorously. That's the thing. They say beat vigorously and then I splash on myself. I gotta invest in some aprons. I still see some lumps of flour, so I'm just trying to get them out. This recipe doesn't say to turn it back on the heat, but after last time, and with my research,
I'm gonna honor what choux pastry is in general and not just follow the recipe. So I'm gonna turn the heat back on. Oh man, I'm just getting so tired. Whew. This looks like the right consistency based on the choux pastry research I did. Now we're just gonna put it in a bowl and spread it out so that it can cool down. We got construction. Ruby's eating her dinner, so we got that. What do we have here? I put the cooked choux pastry in this bowl as part of that fun research I did. Said to put it in a bowl or on a big plate and spread it out. So that's why I did that here, so that it can cool down. Once this cools down, we'll slowly add our eggs a little bit at a time to get that nice glossy texture. We want to keep it firm like this. We don't want it to change too much as far as the consistency. We just want it to be cohesive, bind to the eggs, and get smooth and glossy so that it looks pretty. Browns nicely. Next up, we are going to add the eggs gradually, just a little bit at a time. Ooh, all right, a little bit. This is definitely thicker and sturdier than last time. Ooh, get close. Oh, I think that might have done it. Ooh, maybe. Just like changed in its give. Still not quite smooth and glossy. It's getting there. Whoop. Oh. Moment of truth, because I'm going to add the rest of these eggs. Because I think we are going to need all of them. I think this is going to do it. Well, we did need to add all the eggs, which means I just evaporated a decent amount of the water off. Oh, my arm's so tired from all this. The custard and now this. These are a labor of love, I will say that. But Wesley is one of my best friends, so it is a labor of love. Yep, here we go. Smooth, glossy, much better than last time. They said you wanted this dripping V. I think that's it. I think it's good. Yeah. Next, we're gonna line these with parchment paper. Then I'm going to draw little templates on, and we'll pipe some choux pastry. Here we go. Remember this? We're gonna try to use this for the choux pastry. We'll see how it goes. Here we go. All right, let's try to let's try to put some of this choux pastry into this gun. See how it works. I guess I could time lapse this part too, right? Right? What the yield of this recipe is supposed to be. It says to draw your template like I did in the time lapse, 10 centimeters apart, 4 inches. So I did 3 rows. The thing says 2 rows. They look smaller than I figured they would, but I used the right piping tip as recommended, so I don't know. But we're gonna see what happens. Some of them are skinnier and some of them are fatter because I haven't perfected my piping technique. We'll see what happens. Let's pop these in the oven. It's been preheating at 425. Going in the oven. Now you're supposed to immediately turn the oven down to 400, and then we'll bake them for 25 minutes. Hey Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
Sure, 25 minutes, and that's starting now.
She took a long time, didn't she? Rude. Now we're gonna work on the chocolate sauce, the chocolate icing that goes on top of the eclairs. So we need 100 grams of plain chocolate. I've got dark chocolate, just breaking it up so that it'll melt easier. You're wondering where the construction went. It's late. Woohoo! 100. So I've got 100 grams of butter. I've got 100 grams of chocolate. We're gonna zero this out, and we need 25 grams of butter. Tablespoon plus about 2 teaspoons. 25, cool. Now we're going to place this over our simmering water for it to melt. melt it. Now that our chocolate and butter are melted, we can add our heavy cream. It is 125 milliliters, or a half a cup and a couple tablespoons. So we're just gonna drizzle that in slowly, slowly. Ooh, oh, it smells so good. Ew, creamy. And then we have to add a tablespoon of powdered sugar. Just gonna whisk this in. Gives it a boost of sweetness. Makes it a little more of an icing texture than a ganache texture. It's gonna be a little different. While we wait for the choux buns, I'm gonna whip some cream.
The choux buns are almost ready. Got just a few minutes. I'm gonna whip this cream really fast, and well, I'm just gonna time lapse it. Time lapse it. We're gonna time lapse it with this eagle eye view. Let's do it. Here we go. It's time to take them out.
Moment of truth. We have choux pastry. We did it. Ooh. Oh my god. All right, now, while they're hot, you have to take a skewer, just poke holes in the ends so we can fill it.
How we did it this time. It's so good. Oh my god.
Yes, making space for that custard to go inside. So exciting. They are a little smaller, some of them, than I would have wanted, but this one looks good. That one looks great. You see that? Oh, looks great. I'm just happy we accomplished the poof. The choux fits this time. The choux fits. All right, now we have to pop them back in the oven for 5 minutes. I'm actually gonna turn the oven off because they don't need to bake anymore. They're just drying out. Now that our puffed up choux bun pastry, our eclairs are cooling, I'm just so proud. I'm gonna keep doing this. We've got our custard that's been chilling. Oh, it's very hard. We're gonna add the cream that we whipped to it, a little bit at a time. Try to get that mixed. That's fun. Just like, it's just not penetrating. Uh-oh, maybe I messed up the custard this time. Should have used the recipe I used last time. Oh no. I'm not gonna lose faith yet. You're supposed to beat this with an electric mixer until it's smooth again. All right, here we go. It says until it's smooth like it was before, but it was never really smooth. I don't really know. Great, I got the choux pastry right now. I messed up the custard. Whoa, Jesus. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this is still just really gummy. Let's try a little more. Okay, that feels a little smoother. Got a good amount of cream to add, so I'm not fully worried just yet. I'm still optimistic. We can fix it. Or it's still just coming together. I'm gonna make one more pass through with the mixer, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, it's starting to feel a little better. I don't know. Ah! Oh God, sabotaging ourselves. I'm gonna start adding some of this cream in and see if that'll help smooth it out even more. Oh man. Now it says to fold, so I'm just doing that sort of J technique I've talked about before. I'm also kind of roughly getting this first cream in now that I've whipped it. A choux might be empty. We'll see. Send me good vibes. Oh my God, I'm so tired. So much stirring. It's finally starting to loosen up and look more like custard. All right, that's it. There's no more cream. Hopefully after this last folding, it'll look more like custard. It's getting there. I'm gonna switch to my last whisk. Used all my whisks for this episode. Taste here. It tastes good, but definitely the consistency's off.
I'm gonna pass the electric whisk through it and see how it does. It's not looking good.
So that seemed to help. It does feel a lot more custardy. I still feel like it's probably a little lumpier than it should be. And I don't know if it was something I did wrong or if it's the recipe, it's just not great. Who knows? Oh, okay, so we're just gonna drizzle it in our little gun. Woo. Make everything into a song, 'cause that is how we do it. Let's suction that out. Oh, making a mess. Per usual. Now I'm gonna try it with this fun little tip that I have. Here we go. Stab that in there. Oh, okay. I feel like there's gotta be, oh, I'm just breaking it. I'm just breaking it. There's gotta be a better way to do this. Oh, okay. Ooh, that's fun. Gotta make the holes bigger next time. That was amazing. We'll get some of these, okay? You don't have to sit with me while I do this. Let's do a time lapse. So I think they're not big enough for me to really pipe, and maybe my tip is too big. I think maybe I need a smaller one even. I don't know. It's the right tip based on all the stuff I've read, but I don't know. It might just be the pressure that this exerts. They're just like popping off. So I'm just gonna take the ones that I have filled with cream. This one's empty, I'll probably fill that one. To complete the video, and I will finish the other one later. What's the best one? Let's do this one because it actually looks really full. It didn't break on either end. And I'm just gonna put some chocolate on it. We're just gonna spread some of this chocolate icing on the top here. Eclair.
We made an eclair. Cool. See, it looks nice and filled on both ends. It's got the ridging from the tip that we used to pipe. The nice chocolate frosting that we made. Looks amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in again to Allison Bakes Your Day. I hope I baked Wesley's day. We're gonna go find out.
On a cold day like this custard and this chocolate warms me. This is amazing. Thank you, Allison.